Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. So this forum is generally just to kind of talk about the proposal for the new student center, the fee that are associated with the student center, and some of the other things that we've got planned for the near future. Before we get into that, I would like to welcome President Dr. Michael Benson to the stage to give a short introduction.
I was going to say thank you for that very warm welcome. I want to tell my panelists and colleagues how much I appreciate their being here today, and especially thank SGA for putting this together. This is an important time in our history, and if I can just in about a minute frame how I see this issue impacting, yes, the current generation, you all, but even more importantly, the future. If you'll remember, I had a chance to meet with the Senate last year, and I posed the question to you all. I don't know if you all remember this. I said, what is the most important thing I can do as the president of Eastern Kentucky University? And there were some very good responses. And I said, if I had to distill down what it is my primary responsibility is, it is to make your diploma, your degree, more valuable year after year after year. More valuable to you because you think back on the experiences you had, more valuable to employers, more valuable to alumni that are proud of their alma mater, more proud to the current generation that wants to come here, and to prospective students that we hope will invest in EKU. So tonight we're going to talk very broadly about a plan which I believe will forever transform this campus. Now I don't know if you can see this. I'm only going to show one thing here before I turn it over back to John and then to Kyle. But a few weeks ago, we had a firm that came and reported on energy savings and the cost study that they had done for us. It's taken several months, even a year to do it. And this is a chart that shows when we were founded in 1906, our gross square footage on campus. And you can see for about the first 6 decades, we remained pretty static. Campus didn't grow a whole lot. We were still developing, adding more degree programs. And then look who showed up in 1960. We drive on a road named for him every day. Who am I talking about, Rachel? Robert R. Martin. Robert R. Martin. He became president in 1960. He was president for 16 years. And look what happened to the square footage on campus and how it expanded. Now what we're dealing with today is that square footage is about 50 or 60 years old. And we're having to deal with the kind of the collateral impact that old buildings have on our campus. This plan that we're talking about, the Center for Student Life, I believe will completely revitalize and change forever this campus. And you as senators have the chance to make an investment, yes, in the here and now, but even more importantly in that value of your degree moving forward and for future generations. So I appreciate the chance to say a word or two. I do hope you'll have the chance to go out and pick up a couple of the handouts. And I want to thank again our panel for their consideration tonight. And thank you very much, John.
Okay, now I'd like to welcome SGA President Kyle Nicholas.
All right, thank you all for coming out tonight, especially on such short notice with the storm last week. But what we're doing tonight is kind of the first step to gather the feedback from the campus community and all who are invested in Eastern Kentucky University. And this is going to be one of the most important votes to go before the Student Senate. This will secure a bright future for the Eastern campus and improve the holistic experience for students and kind of the future of the campus community. Now, Senate has been working alongside the administration to properly address all the questions and be sure that every voice is heard. And in doing so, our marketing team has created a flyover video with artist renderings of the possible improvements and capital investments in the campus. And I'd like to invite them to share that with us now. Now, this video highlights a few of the key changes that we'd like to make in the campus, but this won't take place without the student input. As these are student-centric facilities, it takes the input from the student body and from the campus community to truly move forward with these projects. Now, for the vote itself, the vote will take place, or will require 3/4 of elected senators to pass, and will take place on March 3rd. If successful, it will then go before the Board of Regents and lastly, the Council on Post-Secondary Education. And just in closing, I'd like to invite the community that's streaming in online. Be sure to send in your questions via Twitter by tweeting at Eastern SGA. Thank you all.
Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is just kind of talk about the purpose of this forum. Obviously, we want to address, the programming is going to be important, what the buildings are going to be, where they're going to go, but that's going to be a discussion for whenever we get past this first step, and that's determining if we want to make this investment as a student body. It will be a $150 semester fee, so what we want to do is to try to determine, based on student input and based on our responses from our panel, how that will affect students, how the new services and the new buildings on campus will affect their experience here at Eastern, and then make a determination based on that as a student body how we want to move forward. So with that, I want to go ahead and introduce our panel. We've got David McFadden, the Executive Director of Government Relations and Regional Stewardship. We've got Ms. Shelley Park, the Executive Director of Retention and Graduation and Financial Aid. We've got Mr. Barry Pointer, the VP of Finance and Administration. We've got Dr. Gene Palka, the Associate VP of Student Success. Mr. Terry Gray, the Director of EKU's Eastern Region. Mr. George Gallion, the Assistant Dean of Students and Diversity Initiatives. And Dr. Lori Carter, the Executive Vice President of Student Success and University Council. So I just want to thank all of them for being here and working with us on this panel to try to address some of the student questions that might come up. So with that, what we will do is we'll open it up to students who want to ask questions. We've got microphones set up over here, so if you have a question, you can just come up to the microphone and ask, and then I'll direct it to the member of the panel to answer that question. So, yeah, go ahead.
My question is primarily for, Ms. Shelley Park for financial aid. A lot of students here are on scholarship. Would these fees be covered by scholarships people receive from Eastern?
That's a good question. The scholarships are set amounts, and they don't include any course fees. So my answer would be no.
Okay.
That these fees would not be covered by your academic scholarship.
Okay. Thank you.
But they would be covered in your financial aid, because this is a mandatory fee, and that goes into your cost of attendance for financial aid.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
My question mainly pertains to the fact that where would the origin of where would the money come from for this project, and what's the planned payback period to the investors?
Okay. Mr. McFadden?
So to fund a project like this, typically what happens is an institution will issue an agency bond, and that bond would be a 20-year bond that would be issued in order to finance the project. Based on the fee that's collected on a semester-by-semester basis, we would make the debt payments on that bond over that 20-year period in order to pay the debt service on those buildings. The reason that Kyle alluded to that the approvals that have to take place is that for a bond like that to be issued, the General Assembly of Kentucky has to authorize that bond issuance, and we can only do that in an even session, in an even numbered year when the budget is being drafted. So that's why it's critically important for us to move forward on this project now, so that during the 2016 budget cycle, we can ask for the appropriation for this bond amount at that point in time.
What are we going to do with parking during this renovation? Like, are there going to be parking lots available other than the construction part?
Okay, Mr. Pointer?
I'll take a shot at that, I guess. We will have to work to juggle parking spaces as these renovation projects take place. We realize that parking is a premium already on campus. So we'll do our best to juggle and move and probably have to lift some restrictions on parking in various areas so that we can accommodate all the student needs as they come up with the various projects.
My question can be answered by anyone on the committee. I know there are a lot of plans in place for various student-centered facilities on campus, and some of those plans hinge on certain contracts falling into place. Will this fee be affected by any other plan if it were to not go through? So is there any contingencies or any other thing that's like reliant in order for the student fee to go through? So in other words, if a contract, no one bid on a contract for any dining facility, would the fee, the $150 fee, still be in place, and would those other student-centered facilities still occur and still happen?
I'll take that one, and Barry, you can add on to that. But specifically, this fee is designed for two parts of the entire student Center for Student Life project, and that is for a recreation facility, phase 2 of a recreation facility, and for renovation construction of a new student union. And so specifically, regardless of anything else that happens, the fee collection for this would allow us to move forward on those two projects as standalone projects as we wait to bring in those other public-private partnerships, to bring in those other possible donor-related projects that occur, so that we can have all of those services under a master plan. But I think it's critical as we move forward with the timeline that's in front of us that if we don't move forward at this point in time with this part of the project, we will be into 2018 before we could ever even consider it again. And that's the situation we're in. I do want to make take one point. I've had the good privilege to work with the ad hoc committee from the Student Senate that was created to steer this project, and those students have worked tirelessly, spent a lot of long afternoons on Friday afternoons discussing these issues, trying to vet these issues, and we're very respectful and very thankful to have your participation in that process, and so we just want to thank you for that as well. Barry, do you want to add to that at all?
I can't add anything to that. That's exactly what I would have said as well. The fees collected will be specifically for those projects that he's identified, and they will not intermingle with any of the other projects.
Thank you.
Sorry, I want to mention this parking was brought up. During the last session, we made a request for bond authority for both improvements to our current football stadium and a parking structure, and the latter was not given us. So our intent is to possibly go back next time, and that's a separate issue with a separate revenue stream, but parking structure is something we want and desperately need.
Yeah, and for those who are out there that maybe couldn't have heard the president, parking has been high on our priority from the time that the president came in, and he opened up kind of that inbox to get suggestions from campus, and parking was one of those issues that bubbled up very quickly to make sure that parking is, one, convenient to the location you want to get to, particularly if we're going to build a center for student life, and so that we have a parking plan in place to add some additional parking, hopefully in the form of a parking deck within the greater structure of this plan. But again, we'll have to go through the agency bonding authority process to fund that, and we intend to have that included again in our proposal for 2016.
I have two questions. First is, well, it's kind of a reiteration. This came up in the ad hoc, and I just want this to be on the record so everyone here understands what's going on with it. But David, I had told you about the regional campus faculty member who had the concern about regional students having to pay into the fee. And I'd just like you to reiterate your answer on that about it being an Eastern Kentucky degree. And I just wanted to make sure that was said for the record for everyone.
Sebastian, to address that issue of the application of this fee to our regional student population, I think it's critically important, and I think we all understand that an EKU degree is an EKU degree. There's no asterisks that get put on that as to what campus you're at, whether you're an online student or whether you're a Richmond residential student. And the fact of the matter is that an improvement in the EKU brand, an improvement in the EKU in Eastern Kentucky University, whether it's in Richmond or Manchester or Corbin or Danville, is an improvement in EKU as a whole. And exactly what the president said, as administrators for this institution and as an alum of this institution, I find my job to be on a daily basis to be dedicated to improving the value of that degree on a daily basis, and not for any specific set of students according to where you go at. We want every student at EKU to know you are an EKU student, and what investments we make in Richmond hopefully improve the experience for every student. While they may not physically be located here, so many of those students end up coming to the main campus, and this is about three things. It's about shared cost, it's about legacy, and it's about shared design. And we want to make sure that those regional students and those commuter students also are part of that input process as we design the new facilities to make sure they do have a space when they are here. But it's I think it's a very slippery slope for us to start segmenting student populations and saying, well, I'm an EKU Manchester student or I'm an EKU Richmond student. We're all EKU students, and we all want to try to help EKU be better on a daily basis.
Thank you. And my second question, and anyone can answer this, but I know we're looking at 3 new residence halls. I believe that's the projected number. I'm going to guess that there are going to, I'm sure Martin, I think it is, or McCreary, that might come down. How many altogether, just do we have an estimate on how many beds we're adding to the campus or taking away from altogether?
Those numbers yet. We will not lose beds on campus. That we can confirm for you, but we have not determined whether or not we will be adding a significant number of beds. What we're doing right now is sort of an analysis of the needs of what the students want on campus, what types of configurations. We want to build housing that will be desirable for students. If we're able to build the right kind of housing and that dramatically increases the demand on the part of students, that may change our plan. But that will all be a part of this planning process.
Thank you.
This question is for Mr. McFadden. It's more of a clarification. So we apply for this bond in the 2016 year. So these fees will start fall 2016?
Yeah, the fee structure would start in fall of 2000. It would start in the fall of 2015.
Okay.
And then for our bonding authority, we would move into 2016. Typically, for that bonding approval to take place, we already have to have the revenue in place to service that debt.
Okay.
Because we would be able to issue that debt and start construction and start that process in July 1 of 2016 if it's approved. So typically, in order to be approved for that bond authority, you have to have that revenue stream to support it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
I have another question. By American Disability Act, is the Weaver Hall and the football stadium, would that be handicap accessible when that's been renovated?
They will. Absolutely will. Yep.
How will these improvements affect minority populations and out-of-state students in particular? Those are two I would really want to attract our campus.
Yes. Again, what we want to do is be all-inclusive. We want to include everyone. So we're one campus, and we're going to bring everybody together, and we'll have a space and a voice for all of our students of all ethnicities and all backgrounds. So everybody will be included in this, and everyone will have a voice. And we encourage as many to come to these forums as possible so that their voice and their questions can be heard and answered accordingly. But it's all inclusive, so everyone will be included.
If I can just add to that, when you take into account our out-of-state students, those are the students that remain here on the weekends. We'd like to make this a campus that is active, full of opportunities and accommodating, not just during the regular school week, but on the weekends as well. So your point is well taken. We want to pay special attention to those who are not commuters, but are here for the weekends. So.
How is it, do we plan on increasing our student enrollment over this course, or do we want to stay steady?
There is no plan to sort of dramatically increase the student enrollment without having sort of a comprehensive approach to doing that. Right now, our goal is to be able to adequately and appropriately meet the needs of every student on campus. As soon as we feel that we have achieved that for the students, the number of students that we have here, then we will consider increasing that population. But you are the students that are here, you are the students we are committed to, and you are the students that we want to make sure we are providing the very best to. And we will continue to do that and develop and grow according to our ability to best serve you.
Do you feel we can do that without this?
I personally do not. I believe that students today don't want to live in 50-year-old dorms with bathrooms that are gang bathrooms. I believe that you shouldn't have to live that way. And I truly hope that this goes through, because it is my desire and my dream for the students on this campus to have better and to understand that you deserve better, and we're committed to giving that to you. And it's not just about facilities, because the facility is a building. We talk daily about the programming that will go on in those buildings, about the programming that will go on in the buildings that exist now, because we know that you deserve our best, and we're just striving to provide that for you.
I don't know who would be best suited to answer this question, but I know athletics conferences have been discussed in the past. These facilities and these renovations, how would that affect us in terms of maybe applying for another athletics conference, maybe progressing in that way?
I'll just field that one. I really don't think that's the intent. I think this really speaks to what Dr. Carter was saying, and that is this program, and particularly the fee that's being proposed for these two facilities, are for our students. It's for serving our student body and for making that student experience as exceptional as it can possibly be. And really, the design of what's being put into the Center for Student Life no consideration has been given for athletics in that respect.
I have kind of two questions. My question first goes to Dr. Carter. You had made mention that it wasn't just facilities, but it was also going to be like programs and events. I know you probably don't have anything specifically in mind of what we would do, but how would we incentivize students to stay on campus for the weekend instead of avoiding our, classic problem of being a suitcase college where, students are here Monday through Friday and then there's the remnants here on the weekend?
I'm not going to wait for this project to be completed or this fee to be approved before we start working on that. We've already started doing that. We are thinking a lot about the programming that we provide. We've talked a lot about the weekends. We are actually going to run a pilot kickoff of our new weekend program with the big spring weekend that will take place at the end of April this year. We will then have regular weekend programming through the course of next year that will provide incentives for people to remain on campus. Our goal is for this to be an active, thriving campus 7 days a week. For me, it's really sad when I come here on the weekends and the place is empty. And there are students here who cannot go home on the weekend. They don't live close by enough. They live overseas. And we owe it to them to provide a campus life that is alive and thriving every day of the week. We're also working on our summer experience for those students who are taking summer classes and who want to be here in the summer, so that this is a place that is alive and thriving at all times.
And if I may add that through our department, the EKU Cultural Center, we will be providing many programs on weekends. As you heard Dr. Carter say, we're in conversations about many different things that we're considering. So one of the things that I am considering as in conversation is to bring more weekend programs to our campus for our students, all of our students.
And my second question kind of goes before the whole committee. Would there be like a timeline saying, like, you know, I mean, we have the timeline for the fee of, you know, like it goes before student March, Board of Regents in April, Committee on Higher Education in May. But would there be a timeline for the buildings being, you know, like say, you know, fall 2017, Martin gets torn down, you know, 2018, construction starts on the new facility. Would there be like a checkpoint for the university as a marker to make sure we're meeting our goals and our obligations to the student as the principal investors to this?
Absolutely. We would definitely have to have that. We want to have that for the overall project anyway. So yeah, we want to be able to show all the students that are, you know, investors in this project, the timeline and the plan for every one of these buildings to come down that are scheduled to come down and all the new ones to come up. So we would want that as well.
Just one more question. In terms of percentage of tuition, Mr. Pointer, I'm assuming this would be more of your topic. How would this, what percentage of the overall tuition, and would that be acceptable in terms of years prior, the fee, considering to what tuition already is?
I'm not sure I understand your question. As this fee as a percent of tuition?
Yes, as a whole, and where tuition could go in the next 2 or 3 years. I've had questions about just tuition going up as a whole, and then this fee alone being a percentage of that.
I'll have to do the math on this fee as a percent of tuition for the fall. As far as for the next 2 years, we have not had a conversation yet about the tuition for the upcoming 2 years. As you know, the Council on Post-Secondary Education mandates tuition caps. So we're operating under year 2 of a 2-year cap that we already have in place. So that's where we are for the current fall semester, and that tuition increase is about 2.9% for the fall. But I'll have to do the math on the 150. Karen, I don't know whether you've got that. Karen Neubauer is the Director of Budget. What the percent of tuition that a 150 fee is?
Was it 3.6? 3.7.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess let me add one clarifying point on that, and that is, obviously, if we look at our university's budget, about 75% of our entire university's budget is geared toward instruction, student services, academic support, scholarships for students. And when we look at the way that we budget, and Barry can add to this, we run a very baseline budget at the university at this point in time. So in order to move forward with a big vision like this, the fee as it's designed will be to support that next generation of student experience for us. And so, I mean, given our current layout and what our tuition is at to support our basic operations and what we currently are providing, to take that next step is going to take a commitment on this level when we look at this fee, and realizing that it does have at 2035, this fee will go away on that bond schedule. So.
Thank you.
I got a question for you guys.
If I could, sorry to interrupt. If I could just get you to the microphones are feeding to the extended campuses, so if I could just get everybody to talk into the microphones when you have questions.
So my question is so we, especially as senators, can kind of grasp how important this is for us to contemplate whether or not we should pass this, is say that we vote no on this and fail it, how can you guys improve, you know, campus life and all that without this $150 fee? What are we going to miss out? Like what opportunities are we going to miss out on, and what things can you still potentially do?
I guess I'll take the first stab at that, Bailey. I appreciate the question. I truly hope that it's not the case that we don't move forward together with this vision, but it really limits the ability of what we can do. The fact of the matter is revenue streams continue to dwindle from the state. 20 years ago, 75% of our budget for this state university came from state appropriations. Today, we're around 25% of that. Those numbers continue to decline. Unfortunately, Kentucky was one of 11 states in 2014 that decided to cut higher education funding. Sad to say, we were one of the two who cut it at the highest rate for higher education funding. So the options for us to garner those resources and to bring in those public-private partnerships, I think are very they're based a lot on our student commitment to say we want a better Eastern experience. We want to improve the Eastern experience, not just for ourselves, but for all those students who come. I've told this story before. I was a student here back in the mid-90s when the current recreation facility was located in 2 racquetball rooms in the basement of the Begley building. That was where students had to work out, and you know, the decision was made to move forward with a fee to build a facility that's a wonderful facility that this student body and many before you have had the opportunity to take part in. But you know, realizing that others had to make that decision to move forward with that project. So I think that without the students' commitment to move forward with a project like this, it really is going to limit the opportunities that we have for the overall big vision for the student experience at EKU. Anybody want to add to that?
And then my second question for you is, if we do pass this, the $150 semester fee, are there any talks in the works or any plans to, say, 5-10 years down the road, institute another fee to maybe expand something else along campus to further this enhancement? Or are we right now only thinking on this $150 and that'll get us in the 20 years until the bonds are paid off?
Strategically, I think that Barry and his office maintain a master build plan, and there's a lot of projects that are in there. A lot of those are funded through a variety of different mechanisms. This is a big undertaking to move forward with this project and to get all of the projects that are outlined in this done and completed. I think we're going to be a good ways down the road based on construction schedules and fee schedules before we can kind of look at the next opportunity as to what we want to do. But we're going to continue to pursue other projects on this campus. For instance, our College of Education and Model, those are investments that we're going to continue to work toward improving those facilities. We have other infrastructure facilities on campus that need to be improved, and we continue to juggle all of those demands and all those needs as best that we can as an administration and working with the students as well. Barry?
I think we would be open down the road too, as you all come up with more ideas and more thoughts and plans of things you want to do and add to campus. I would hope that would be that would well up from the student body, that we can accommodate more, we can do more, and we want you to partner with us to do more as well. So I would be wonderfully open to the idea of doing more later down the road as you see what we can do with this $150 fee. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us.
Thank you, guys.
My question goes to maintenance for the buildings that are projected, because as it stands right now, and this past week was a good example of this, our current maintenance facilities are almost strained to the point of being semi-ineffective. It's a worrying condition for being a potential investor into this project to not have the ability to, so we build a building, but it falls apart because, you know, maintenance doesn't have enough budget to, you know, replace faucets or fix showers or repair a broken tile or missing items. So what would be the plan in this grand scope of things to either improve the maintenance standing or to minimize the impact of, you know, our current staff numbers? Like, would we have to hire more people, or would there be a way, like, increasing hours for them to work, or giving them, overtime and stuff like that?
We're going to have to address that. I mean, we're going to have a higher water bill. We're going to have a higher electric bill. As we add all these buildings, we're going to have increased expenses across the board. So that's part of our planning from central administration of how we're going to accommodate that. We can't pay for any of that with the fee, because the fee is going to be dedicated to debt service. So that's going to be on us to figure that out, and how we reallocate funds internally to manage those very real needs that we're going to have, because we're going to have increased expenses across the board. Anytime you add a building and structures to campus, you've got broad-based increases that you're going to have to deal with.
I think it's important to note, too, if you look at the infrastructure on campus, and Dr. Benson showed that graph, we've got an aging campus infrastructure. And projects like this are going to help hopefully reduce some of those costs, and we're going to try to use new technologies and like the new LEED certified dormitory, have buildings that are more energy efficient and really be mindful of investing in things that are going to be durable for the long haul. But for the most part, most of our buildings on campus, I think that they've served their useful life as best that they possibly can with the help of our maintenance staff, and we'll continue to do that, I would imagine.
And then just to kind of confirm the point, there will be the use of like green technologies like solar and other technologies on the new buildings to help negate their impact on the campus utility bill and the water bill that Mr. Pointer made earlier.
As you all help plan these buildings and these facilities, I would hope and expect that those would be key parts of the planning process. I definitely want to do that.
Are there any other questions? Go ahead.
Will faculty also be expected to pay a fee for these renovations?
No, the fee specifically will be associated with the student bill. These buildings, as they are designed for the student experience, and so that will not be any type of fee that's associated with that. Currently, we do have, when it comes to our recreational facilities and others, there's membership dues that are paid by faculty and staff and others, and I imagine that will continue to be the policy that's in place for usage of those facilities.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Does anybody from the panel have any final remarks or anything that they'd like to add? All right. Well, I would like to thank everybody for coming today. I'd like to thank the panel for being here and helping field some of the questions. So if we could just give them a round of applause. Thank you. As you're leaving, pick up some of this material. It's got some good information on there, and take those with you. We really appreciate your time. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.